Some of the most iconic pop songs have left a huge mark on the music world without reaching the top 10 of the Billboard Hot 100. In this video, we'll look at 10 of the biggest singles that never hit the top 10. 22 by Taylor Swift. Taylor Swift's 22 became the soundtrack to birthdays, nights out, and celebrations everywhere when it was released back in 2013. It is the upbeat single from her Red album, and it perfectly captured the carefree vibe of youth. The song is still one of Taylor's most enduring hits, especially when you turn 22. Despite its iconic status, it only peaked at number 20 on the Billboard Hot 100. A significant factor to its limited chart success was timing. Red had already produced big hits like We Are Never Ever Getting Back Together and I Knew You Were Trouble, so 22 came out at a point when Taylor's album was already somewhat winding down its promotional cycle. Nevertheless, it has become an anthem that transcends its Hot 100 performance, even finding new relevance when Taylor re-released it for Red Taylor's version. Night Changes by One Direction. Night Changes, released in 2014 as the second single from One Direction's album 4, captured a more mature, introspective side of the band. The song, with its smooth melody and lyrics about growing up and passing of time, showed a different angle to their previous high-energy hits. As a fan favorite, it became beloved for its heartfelt lyrics and relatable themes. However, despite its popularity within the fandom, the single peaked at just number 31 on the Billboard Hot 100, far from the top 10. Even though Night Changes didn't score as high as some of the band's bigger hits, it has become one of their most streamed songs on Spotify, now sitting on 1.7 billion streams. Following Liam Payne's death, the song saw a surge in sales and streams, as it is currently number 8 on the Spotify charts. The song has become a lasting hit and a sentimental staple of One Direction's catalog. Into You by Ariana Grande. From her 2016 album Dangerous Woman, Ari's Into You was a fan favorite and a critical darling. The single captured the essence of romance and perfectly demonstrated Ari's vocal talent and dynamic production choices. Despite high streaming numbers and critical praise, Into You only peaked at number 13 on the Billboard Hot 100. Though it didn't crack the top 10, it has since become a classic in her discography, now sitting on more than 1.4 billion streams on Spotify. Fans consistently call it one of her best songs, and it remains a go-to track for pop lovers, only increasing its legacy as time goes on, that far surpasses its chart performance. Love on Top by Beyoncé. When Beyoncé released Love on Top in 2011, it quickly became a fan favorite and a go-to anthem celebrating love and optimism. Featuring infectious upbeat harmonies and multiple modulations that showcase Beyoncé's impressive vocal range, the song is one of her best. Yet despite its popularity and the iconic MTV Video Music Awards performance, where Beyoncé famously revealed her pregnancy with Blue Ivy, Love on Top only peaked at number 20 on the Billboard Hot 100. Part of the reason it didn't chart higher was likely due to its timing, as it was released as the fourth single from Beyoncé's album 4, which had a disappointing commercial performance. Although Love on Top didn't hit the heights on the Billboard charts, it did win a Grammy Award for Best Traditional R&B Performance, and its continued relevance in pop culture has solidified it as a Beyoncé classic. Give Your Heart a Break by Demi Lovato. Released as a second single from Demi Lovato's third album Unbroken, Give Your Heart a Break is one of her most beloved songs. With its catchy chorus, emotional lyrics, and her strong vocal performance, the song had all the makings of a pop hit. But it only climbed to number 16 on the Billboard Hot 100, despite receiving heavy radio play and earning significant streaming numbers. The song was a big success on pop radio, topping Billboard's pop songs charts for multiple weeks. However, its radio and streaming dominance couldn't quite push it higher on the Billboard Hot 100, as it missed the top 10 by a few spots. Give Your Heart a Break remains one of Demi's best performing singles and has become a staple in her discography, showing that a Hot 100 peak isn't always a definitive marker of a song's cultural success. Work Bitch by Britney Spears. When Britney dropped Work Bitch in 2013, it marked a return to her dance pop roots with a fierce and confident anthem. The song's message of hard work resonated with fans, and its commanding beat and high energy vibe made it a hit in nightclubs worldwide. The music video also further fueled the song's popularity. It is the perfect anthem when you're grinding. Though it debuted at number 12 on the Billboard Hot 100, Work Bitch never managed to break into the top 10 despite its memorable hook. Its initial position was mainly due to strong digital sales, but it struggled with radio support in the US. The song became a fan favorite and over time, becoming one of the biggest modern Britney hits. Torn by Natalie Imbruglia. Natalie Imbruglia's Torn is one of the most fascinating cases on this list. The song became a massive hit globally, reaching number 2 in her native Australia, and became one of the most played tracks of the late 90s. Yet, Torn only peaked at number 42 on the Billboard Hot 100, mainly because it wasn't available as a physical single in the US at the time, a requirement back then to chart higher. Despite its limitation, it became the quintessential alternative pop song of the late 90s, and its influence on pop music remains undeniable. The song has stood the test of time. And it was also hugely popular in the US when it was released, as it had a 6-week run at number 1 on the Billboard Airplay charts. It just didn't manage to chart higher on the Billboard Hot 100. Are You That Somebody by Aaliyah. Aaliyah's 1998 single Are You That Somebody is a very creative banger, with those baby laughs in the beat, courtesy of legendary producer Timbaland. It was the lead single from the Dr. Dolittle soundtrack and was an undeniable cultural moment. With Aaliyah's smooth vocals paired with the innovative production, the song was ahead of its time. Despite heavy radio play, it only peaked at number 21 on the Billboard Hot 100. It may not have reached the top 10, but its impact can still be felt in pop and R&B music today. Artists like Normani and Beyonce have cited Aaliyah as a massive influence, and the song remains a fan favorite in her catalog. It was a major moment in the late 90s and would go on to shape music for years to come. She Wolf by Shakira. Shakira's She Wolf from 2009 is one of her most memorable hits, combining her signature Latin flair with electronic and disco influences. Released as the lead single from her album of the same name, it was Shakira's way of reintroducing herself to the global pop scene with that memorable music video. The song peaked at number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100, just shy of the top 10. And it went on to be a staple in her discography. She Wolf enjoyed considerable international success and cemented Shakira's reputation for blending musical styles. While it might have missed the top 10 in the US, it was a top 10 hit in many countries. It went on to become an unforgettable pop track of the late 2000s. One Time by Justin Bieber. JB's debut single One Time was the song that started it all for the Canadian pop star. Released in 2009, the song introduced Bieber to the world as a talented young singer with a catchy tune. The song had a massive impact online, and its music video quickly garnered millions of views on YouTube. The song climbed to number 17 on the Billboard Hot 100, helping set the stage for Bieber's meteoric rise, though it didn't quite make it to the top 10. Despite its number 17 peak, One Time was a huge hit that marked the beginning of a long, successful career, as it set the tone for Justin's journey from YouTube sensation to a global superstar. Which songs that never hit the top 10 did I miss? Tell me in the comments below.